Good morning. How you guys doing? Welcome back. There's 2 to 3 stocks I want to quickly go over. That way you guys can decide what you want to do. Maybe you guys get in, maybe you don't. Full disclosure, I am in Netflix, so this is kind of why I'm showing you. I've been watching this for multiple weeks, and I do think like we've got a big low that we just hit. This bottom right here was the yearly low, and we've kind of just pushed off of it very nicely. This is a 30-minute chart. This is not something that I expect you guys ever to take trades off of. But here you go on a weekly time frame. You could see we just hit a large EMA. We had a double bottom. The last time we had a little double, triple bottom, we had a nice push off like that as well after we had sideways. So this sideways was in the middle of the air. This sideways is on a large EMA, so I will basically consider this a potential local low. And it's also, if you look to the side, it's also this retest of this last low that we had. So it's kind of like upside continuation, retest of major support before that sell off. We went back up, we're retesting this level, and then we could have another large push. That is the technical analysis. Now, fundamental analysis, Netflix now starts making their own movies. They bought like a studio. They have stuff going on. Everyone has Netflix. The reason they had that big push down is when they started cracking down on people sharing accounts and stuff, which makes sense. You know, they need to make their money. So yeah, in the long run, if COVID ever hits again, or if there's any kind of situation where people decide to stay home and not go out, I do think Netflix and all those other streaming services will get some love. And now that they're making their own media, like this is now officially a contender against like movie houses like Lionsgate and Universal, etc., etc., etc. So just be aware of that. Now back to the technical analysis on a weekly chart, you can see when these EMAs cross, right? When this yellow goes under this green, the yellow is a 21-day moving average, the green is a 50-day moving average. When the lower time frame crosses under the higher time frame, that is basically a bearish confirmation of downside continuation. Okay, so we actually went down. The cross occurred. We had a big push into the cross to test, and we didn't cross back up. Okay, this EMA actually pushed right back off. Now the next time I'm looking to see is if we're finding this support over here at around $70, $71. If Netflix can't hold $71 on a weekly time frame and we get any open and close underneath $70, then I'm going to look for this yellow line to cross under this purple line, which is the 200-day moving average, and that will be a death cross. And that's basically the large signal for major downside to come. Now, another example of that would be right over here. You had the yellow cross underneath the green, okay, right here, this little cross, and then you had this big push to the downside, and then you had this yellow cross underneath the purple, major downside crash, okay? When you cross the yellow above the green, you have a nice push up. Yellow above the purple, nice rise to the upside. You see, that's a golden cross for bullish long-term swing. That's a bearish cross for long-term downtrend, and this is on a weekly time frame. Okay, so these trades usually are, you call them swing trades because you can hold them for a very long time. So I took my swing trade right here as opposed to like anywhere else on this chart. I took it like right around here, and I'm gonna wait to see if we get this EMA to cross down. Now, in the meantime, if sideways consolidation occurs, this EMA will come here, it will flatten out as we find consolidation here, and then it'll have a little tweak to the upside as like a little curvature to the upside to signal, yeah, we have more sideways until a major seller comes on news or something. So there's time for sideways consolidation here. As long as your stop loss is underneath $70, you can accumulate, assuming this is a secondary low for upside continuation. Now, if you buy here, where would you take your profit? I would be taking it right around $90. That's about a $20 move if you bought it at 70. Even if you bought it at 75, 80, you know, $90. It's a $10 move. After that, you can look for a higher, but around there, I expect resistance to figure out if we're going to go sideways more, and then you can make a nice little W consolidation and rise, okay, as we make these EMAs curve and rise to the upside. So this week is very important. Last week we kind of confirmed the lows, pushed off. This week we are tested already back into last week's midpoint. We didn't break lower. If you look into the daily or 4-hour to see what I'm talking about. So we basically tested into the daily candle, but we didn't break the low. And then today when we open, we're going to see, are we going to go into $82, $83? Or are we going to find resistance and then push back down underneath around $71? So that's kind of the range. You got a $10 range here that we're playing with. If we get open and closes above $81, $82, then you can expect the next nice large move all the way to that $90 to $100 move. And that's on a daily time frame we're waiting. I don't know what kind of news would take us that way, but it would basically hurt the shorts and you would see a big quick move to the upside. So be aware of that. That's kind of what I'm looking at on Netflix. Now today the like main winner of the news is SpaceX. They're supposed to be included into the index. I think the Nasdaq 100, or is it S&P 100? I believe it's the Nasdaq. I think it's the Nasdaq. Here is what it's looking like right now. Let's go to the daily because there's not a history. We basically called the high and we went and retested the low. Now I was looking for this. Here's my indicator right here. $143. That's where I was trying to buy it. But now that you're actually putting in support above the previous low here, you can see this rounding bottom thing that we got going on here. It's basically saying this is the head. Whatever this was, we basically tested out the original opening of this. Then we made a nice little order block right here, and we're basically going and testing into that supply demand zone, and that order block is being defended. Basically, that's why you have this strong push off. So if you want higher on SpaceX, we need to get above $166. Today it's going to open around 160. If we can close above $166 on a 4-hour time frame, your daily and all your other time frames will start kicking into bullish momentum, and you can look for upside. Okay. Now, if today we get into the index and the index actually pukes and we get under $55, that's when I'll be looking for my entry over here at 143. So I have no reason to do anything on SpaceX. This is kind of what I'm looking at. Let me go to a lower time frame. You can see this rounding bottom right here. This was beautifully created, and you got this like a cup and handle situation going on. And usually for cup and handle, you have that nice explosion back up, find support, and then you could just start doing your Elliott wave expansion on like a higher time frame. So that's kind of where I'm looking at, is the liquidity over here. All we did was grind out the original lows around what is this, 151, around 151, 152. And if you guys can see, this kind of like where I was looking for the entry anyway. Look at my fib pull. See, around 152.45, and I have this little doodle here, which I drew. This was all done from day one, by the way. When it first came out, I did all this stuff going like, hey, this is how I'm going to accumulate this stock. From 152, I said as low as it would go is into 143.67, and that's kind of why I had that alert around 143, because I was like, if I'm going to buy this, I want to buy this at the absolute low. But yeah, I don't think we're going to get that low, and that 152 level, 152.45, is probably the nice low to try to accumulate at. And then once we get above that, around 162, and that's kind of where we're fighting right now, is 162. So once we get above 162 to 166, I said, yeah, 166 was the EMA. Above that, you're looking at your next level of resistance already at like 171, and I think that's like not even really anything. I think you're just probably going to go to like 180 to fill these gaps, and then you could consolidate. So you should have like a higher high and make a higher low around 175, and then we can look for that expansion. So you can look for some kind of like triangle consolidation right here, and in that consolidation, if it doesn't come and take out the liquidity, you can just take it from here and just ride it up. So that's kind of what you need to just be patient for New York Open. New York Open looks like it looks like it's just going to break out. So Let's see how that plays out for you guys later today. Do we need to go look at any other equities? We did SpaceX and we did Netflix. And here's on a weekly. Yeah, you can't even see anything on a weekly. On a weekly, you're basically defending this order block. And look, you got higher lows. So this week, if this weekly candle closes just like this, next week I would open and I would be looking to take the liquidity out of this wick right here. This whole wick is low liquidity, all the way from $85 to $225 is all price inefficiency that's eventually going to get filled, which is probably going to happen as this thing gets filled with this hitting the index. Because what's going to occur is now every institution is going to have to buy some allocation for their investors that are in index fund traders. So this stock, depending on what its supply is, the demand is going to be explosive starting now because of the fact that these institutions are forced to buy this moving forward. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you have any questions or concerns, hit me up in the comment section below. If you have any other assets you would like to cover, let me know. We did basically say last week the lows were coming in for Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, and that's basically what happened. This is already up like what, $6,000, $7,000 from the low. This is up a few $100s from the low. This is about $10, $15 from the low. So everything has already got a nice little rise, and it looks like we're probably gonna look for local lows to be put in these next 2 to 3 months, and then look for expansion to the upside. So I'm not saying like the low is in, but I'm saying over the next 2 to 3 months, we should just be grinding these levels in an accumulation fashion, and then we should be seeing markup phase occur into October, November, December of this year. So be patient and accumulate. I did accumulate. I did accumulate Netflix, so that's the one thing that feel free to take a look at. Full disclosure, I own it, and I bought it at the yearly low. Aside from that, guys, I hope you guys have a great day. Talk to you soon. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, press the bell button for notifications, and share this video with other like-minded individuals that you want to see make money with you. Have a great day.